Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of Traderscale Success Stories. Today, sitting in the hot seat, we have Adam Marshall. So Adam is someone who's navigated the highs and lows of trading, and he's come out on the other side with probably some powerful lessons and some success, most importantly. So this one's going to be especially invaluable, guys, if you're just getting started. So let's get stuck into it and let's see what Adam has to say. So how are you today, Adam? Are you good?
Yeah, hi there. Yeah, good, thank you. Not too bad. Enjoying the weather in the UK, so unusual. It's not raining, so that's good.
Yeah, it's weird because in July it just rains, and August. Sometimes we have like a nice May and June, but then like it just nosedives. But it's been a really good. My mother said it's been a really good summer over there so far. So let's not jinx it though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so where are you from and what's your age? I'm assuming you're from the UK, obviously.
Yeah, so I'm from probably about 20 miles north of Birmingham. Been in that area all my life. We're coming into my early 50s. So
okay,
with my going on to trading, I just thought I'd try something. I'm quite a novice at it. I've been doing it for probably about 9 months now. Made a lot of mistakes, and obviously learned a few things as well, and still learning.
Everyone makes mistakes, and to be honest, mate, even the people that have been trading 4 or 5 years are still learning. So just take it as it comes. Some people can crack it in 6 months. Some people can crack it in 3 months. Some people can crack it in 5 years. Some people crack it in like 9. So it totally depends. When you get that consistency, and it totally depends on if you have the strategy that's like long term or whatever. So let's start like right at the beginning. What was you doing before trading, and what do you do currently as you trade?
So I currently am an IT manager. I've been in IT for the last 20 odd years, 25, 26 years. And I just thought I'd try something a little bit different in spare time, etc., just to see how it goes.
Yeah, why not?
Do the doom scrolling on, all these social media sites, and these adverts come up, and all these gurus, and say you can earn millions in a week, and all these things. So you quickly learn that they aren't what they say they are. But it got my appetite whet to try and give it a go.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of that, unfortunately, and everyone goes through it. There's not one person on here that I've interviewed that's not gone through that, or not one person I know through my trading connections that like haven't gone through that. Where you go, oh, that looks alright, let's try that, and it doesn't work. You give them whatever, $100, $200, and it doesn't work, and you're like, ah, shit. And then you're like, well, actually, I've seen that I can actually make money doing this, and it's not that hard. But so if I educate myself, there could be something out there. So that's key. So you jumped into education then. So where did you start from there?
Well, actually, I started just following people's signals on Telegram first of all, and obviously the lessons learned there were obviously with not giving you not enough risk management training. The lot sizes are far too high. When you're winning, happy days, but you win 5 or 6 times, which is great, but one loss and you've wiped out all of your winnings and a bit more. It's about risk to reward ratio.
Yeah, I remember doing that for my first time. I joined the group and it was like $20 a month, and then my lot sizes were all over the place. I didn't have no education on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm winning, and then I was like losing, and I was like, wait, I'm losing more, but I'm winning more trades, but how am I losing? And then I worked out, simple, my risk was all over the place, and my stop losses and my, risk to reward was all over the place. So anyways, were you always interested in finance, or did trading just sort of come out of the blue? Like, obviously you work with computers and IT, so you know how to navigate computer and software and stuff, I guess.
No, nothing. I mean, I just sort of came out of the blue. I just thought, what can I do in my spare time? That is, well, not, I wouldn't say easy, but it's not much effort in terms of like these drop shipping sites. You've got to create your websites and all these things, to try and get in the market and make money that way.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I haven't got the time for that.
I just interviewed someone actually who made a good point because I said, oh, out of all the things online, why did you choose trading? He's like, well, he said a really good answer. He said something like, well, with dropshipping, you could do all the things right and still be unsuccessful. But in trading, if you actually learn the right stuff and do it right and educate yourself properly and spend some time on it, you will be successful if you just keep doing it. So I like that. I like that answer. I was like, oh, that's a good answer. I've never had that one before. Usually people just say, oh, freedom or money, which is fine as well, So was there a particular moment where you decided to look into trading, or was it just like, right, I've got a bit of spare time and yeah, let's give it a go?
Yeah, I think the really thing of it is my eldest daughter started university, and that isn't cheap. So I was just looking at a way of where I could probably just hopefully get a little bit of extra cash, etc.
Yeah.
So as I said before, these promises of earn £1 million in a day, type of thing. I exaggerate slightly. It was give it a try, and as I say, that was a big failure. But I did learn from that, and obviously do my own education online and reading a few things. Is that some of those signals are good? Just that with tweaks and your risk to reward ratio, tweaking that, and obviously the big lessons for me were, first off, is that revenge trading. If you make a loss, walk away from your laptop, else you end up bigger losses.
Easier said than done, though, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's easier said than done. It's taken. I mean, even now I'll go. Oh, I just need to earn that back because I've lost that. But you've got to be disciplined. The biggest thing is discipline. After risk management is definite discipline. If you for me, people say, I've seen a lot of people say, risk 1% of your capital per trade. I don't think you need to. You can do 0.5% or even less than that if you want. Whatever.
I personally risk half or 0.25, but I trade on a hedge fund, so it's different to prop firms. But I use prop firms. I think they give you the rules, and I think they were good. They're good to start, because if you're on a broker account, I think I did I always say this, but I did I think I put 600 or 700 quid in. Racked it up to 1,000. I was like, sick, and then trading gold, and then I just lost 80% of it, and then withdrew 200 quid. I was like, right, I need to really start thinking about what I'm doing here. So yeah, I just got some education and stuff like that. Started looking at YouTube videos, but there's a lot of crap out there. But then you find a good few people, and with a few tweaks, and you can kind of make it your own strategy. Then you can kind of put a few things into one. So, did you trade first with real money with a broker, or was it just in a demo?
Yeah, so first of all, it was a broker situation. Putting some 500 quid in, and watching it climb for 3 or 4 days, going, oh, happy days, I'm quids in here, and then within an hour, as you say, 80% of it gone, and you're like, what happened there? And that's the lessons that you learn quite quickly. And I've probably gone through 3 or 4, probably more than that, signaling groups, 3 or 4 different brokers, £3,000 or £4,000, and it's just like, I got to a stage where I really do need to educate myself here and be more disciplined, and that's when I started to look at YouTube videos and different things like that, and then I saw that go down the prop firm route.
Yeah.
And I openly say this is my second attempt. First time the account blew, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I've learned my lessons. Still more lessons to learn, but with the correct risk management, as I said before, and obviously leave your emotions outside your office door or wherever you trade, and make sure you don't get emotional about it.
Yeah, perfect. I love that answer. So, for you, how do prop firms compare with brokers?
Obviously, prop firms are brokers. It's the Wild West. You can do what you want with it. You can risk it all in one trade.
Lose it all in one trade, yeah.
Absolutely. You could also win quite a lot if you hit it. But I think with prop firms, it gives you structure. Some more strict than others. I did a good shop around before I decided to go with yourselves. Had a look around rather, and there's some quite strict rules there, but those are there in place to protect you, and your capital. So if you follow those rules, and as I say, I can't say this enough, I'll say it another 1,000 times: risk management and your motion, then you can't really go wrong. It just enables you to, if you do all those great things and your strategy works, even if it works, if you've got a risk reward ratio of 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, if you only need a 60% win rate,
you only need,
maybe even 50,
you only need like 40, like just over 40, So as long as you stick to your,
absolutely,
as long as you stick to your rules. But the hard thing is sticking to your rules, obviously. But that just comes with training, right? Like you don't go to med school or you train for your IT job. I doubt they trained you in 6 months. You probably were on the job to a position you're in now for years. So
absolutely, in every trade, even a seasoned professional in their 20 years experience and whatever they do will make a mistake. It'll hopefully be a smaller mistake than it was when in the first 6 months of when they started, and that's what life is. It's about lessons and taking them on board.
I really love that answer. That's what life is, about lessons, taking them on board. Wow, good. That was good. That wasn't scripted. So, so you said that you had a little look at some other prop firms. How much did you get paid in the end with Traderscale, and how are you finding the platform?
Okay, yeah. So Traderscale, yeah, it's a good platform. Simple. The dashboard is really good, easy to navigate. Obviously, depending on what you're trading, the leverages are slightly different depending on whether it's indices or gold or whatever it might be. But you just get used to that as long as you've got your online calculators on leverage and all those great things. You're fine.
Brilliant.
But with regard to the payout, my first payout was $2,300.
Oh, sweet. Nice, well done, mate. Well done. Yeah. Let's keep it going now. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, so happy with that. I mean, obviously there was a slight. I think there was an error with the processing, or a delay with. There was an error or a problem with the IT side of things. So it took about 80 working hours for them to accept my request.
Was that with Rise or was that with us? Because we're pretty rapid once you're registered and set up.
Unfortunately, with Traderscale, once I got it approved, and then it took another 72 hours to get it onto Rise.
Right, so that would now the next one should be absolutely. It should be like sometimes it's 12 hours. Sometimes, mate, I think some people say about it like 8 hours. I think our average processing time is 16 hours. But yeah, it sometimes is like a little glitch. Sometimes we can't guarantee, but we're definitely one of the fastest. Like some people come to us because they complain they've waited 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We're just not like that. We like to get the ball moving. So I just said, like, let's be real here. Like the first 2-3 months really challenging. What was the biggest challenge you faced early on?
The biggest challenge to face early on, I would say, probably my emotions. Yeah. That's the one thing you've got to I had to overcome. Is that the moment I put a trade on, is that my eyes were glued to the screen. I couldn't walk away. I was watching it either tick up or tick down or whatever, and I'd either cash in too early, or if it had just gone into drawdown, he's come out too quickly, and then it's just that you've just got to just be patient, trust your strategy, and all will be well. If you have a loss, you have a loss. It's one of those things that you expect. You've got to expect losses. There is no perfect solution and perfect strategy. You will not win 100% of the time.
You're not going
to. And that was the first thing to me. I just thought, I'll make $500 a day, no problem, or whatever the currency you're dealing in. And that's it. So the first day, I was like 100 down. I'm like, well, this is no good for me. Throw my toys out the pram and all those things. But you've just got to go. The next day, it was like, 600 up. The next day, 200 down. The next day, but as long as your overall you're making a profit. I think that was the biggest struggle for me, was to just stay calm.
Oh, brilliant. I love that. Just staying calm when you see the numbers going up and down, because I remember I used to panic about that myself, definitely. So especially when I was going on to the bigger accounts, I was like, oh my God, and 1,000 up, and I was like, that's only 1%. So what I usually do is I link a copy trader to like a 1K account, so I don't see the numbers if I'm doing a big account. So with our hedge fund, we link a 5K account to X amount, which is like a large amount of money. So we don't see anything other than like, £50 wins or, £75 wins, because it would scare the shit out of you, I think, if you've seen, a massive amount. So did you have any times where you thought I might quit, or was you always going to be like, I'm just going to keep going with this because I know I can do it?
So obviously this is my second account with yourselves. The first one I had started in November, and I think I got it, blew the account in May actually. So it lasted quite a long time for my first account, and it just I was doing okay. But I don't know what I must have had a bad 2 days emotions wise, and I just kept losing. So, but I kept going back in to say, can I get it back? Can I get it back? Can I get it back? And I suppose and that's gambling, and that's a big no.
So that is just a vicious circle, and no one comes out of that happy, unfortunately. I've been there myself. Everyone's been there, not just you. Especially you. You're only 9 months in, and I mean, you've had your first payout, $2,300. That's fantastic. So we're so happy that we can facilitate that for you, and we're really happy that you like the dashboard and everything. And you seem like you've got your head on, your head switched on, and you seem like you're quite smart. So that'll definitely help you. If you're aware of your emotions, I guess some people, not on here, but I guess some people that I've interviewed previously where I work, that they were like, yeah man, like first payout, like I'm gonna make this, I'm gonna make that. I'm like, just relax, bud, just relax, just take your time now, because the markets will eat your emotions up, even if you're overconfident, everything. So they don't care about stuff like that, the markets don't care about that. So every trader here has talked about like a turning point for them. Where was the turning point for you? How far along your journey of the 9 months? Where was the turning point?
Actually, probably not that long ago, really. In fact, probably the turning point was when I lost the account. So the first account. So it's probably only 8 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, really. That was the point where I thought I'm going to jack this in.
Right.
And then I thought I took that was your previous question, actually, wasn't it? And then I thought, no, I took a week off, and I was feeling itchy feet. Clear my head, but I thought, this isn't for me. This is not going to work. I'm not getting anywhere. And then after a while, I went, I said, my strategy is solid. I just need, and I'll say it again, it's the emotion. It's the emotion. I've got to leave that outside the office, and just follow my strategy. And I've set myself targets. So if I do probably just a couple of trades a day, and 0.5% per trade. Nice. If I lose those two trades, my laptop closes.
Nice. There you go. 1% done. Because then that would mean that would have to happen 5 times in a row for you to lose. That would have to happen. 10 times in a row for you to actually lose that account.
Exactly.
That how unlikely is that? Like, it's quite unlikely, like if you think about it, if your strategy's solid, then that's probably not, it depends what your risk to reward ratio is, right? If it's a 1-8 or 1-9, then maybe you could have like 10 losses, 11 losses in a row. I remember I used to have a strategy that was really good, but it was only a 30% win ratio, and I remember I lost 13 trades in a row once, and I literally remember thinking, oh my god, I was on holiday, and my mother was like, she was 60th, and I remember thinking like, I'm not enjoying myself on holiday here. Like this is actually like the worst, So then I thought, right, what I got to do is I got to find a different strategy, because the strategy works, but your mindset has to be rock solid if your win ratio is 30%, even though it's very profitable. Sometimes I'd make 20 or 30% in a month, but then sometimes I would be break even, or I'd lose like a lot in a row, So, but I couldn't handle the losses, man. I I couldn't handle it. So I need a strategy that's 50-60% win ratio, because if I lose more than 4 trades in a row, I know I will not be happy. That's just the way I am. It's just that, like, you know, everyone's got a different personality, you know what I mean? So I need a high win ratio. I don't care if it's a 1 to 2, 1 to 1.5. I'd rather take that.
Yeah.
So did you have like a bit of a mentor, or did you look on YouTube for a strategy? And tell me a little bit more about your strategy. Like, how did you come across it?
So it's just YouTube, going through YouTube, you know, and it's obviously the problem with YouTube is there are a lot of people out there who are so-called gurus, and so it was, so you try them, and you realize it doesn't work, so then you just moved on to one, and then there's just one, and I've forgotten the person's name, but it seemed like a pretty decent, simple strategy. Without going into too much detail, I don't want to give my secret away. It is, you know, you look at the previous day's highs and lows.
That's a really nice one. That's a really nice. I'm telling you, that's really key. That is. I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely, and then you wait for it to break either the high or the low, and
see a market reversal.
If you get a little like a grab or a continuation, that's a really nice one, man. The previous daily candle is quite specific to me as well. I used it with supply and demand, so that's I think that's great for anyone watching this. That's a little bit of source for you there. The daily candle, the high and low. Look at the reactions from it on the price action. You can it depends where you're trading, obviously, but like, you know, looking at just the reactions from both of those, that mark them out, and you can maybe get a bias from that for the day. Sometimes it'll just range, but then, you know, you could catch a nice one, and more often than not it'll go one way, right, for the day. It depends where you're trading, obviously, but so you said that was a technical switch for you, because you still struggle with the mindset at the moment. You say you're still working through your mindset.
So I've improved. I think every strategy has its benefits, and I think, but the fundamentals is the individual. It's your risk management. What are you prepared to lose? I think that's the first thing you need to say. What am I prepared to lose? Not, how much can I win? Because you've got to have the mindset of, today I could lose 1% of my.
That's actually a famous quote. That's actually a famous quote. How much am I prepared to lose today? I'm not sure if it was George Soros or Warren Buffett or one of those famous traders. It's in a book somewhere. How much am I prepared to lose today? It's one of the famous traders anyway. He's talking about it, and he's he just quoted someone famous. Do you read any trading books at all, or have you?
No. So no, I mean, I may have heard that somebody say it on a YouTube clip. I don't, just so it's ingrained in my brain, maybe. But that's my belief is, how much am I prepared to lose today? And if you lose it, then you've prepared for it, and that's that. And with with your risk to reward ratio, if you lose even 3 or 4 trades, if you have a 1 to 4 risk to reward ratio in one trade, you've got it back.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
And so
don't
panic.
Yeah, there's no need to push the no. Yeah, you're right. Don't push the panic button.
It's all about emotion.
100%, man. I completely agree with you on that one. So, what kind of markets do you trade, and what kind of setups? What's your ideal setup?
I like gold because I think it's quite volatile, but I like to be risky. I mean, I might be moving slightly away from gold now, because it can be quite risky. I like the US 30, the NAS 100.
Oh, I like NAS. NAS is lovely to trade. I think it's quite nice, but I really don't like US 30, and I don't know how people can trade it. It's literally psycho when the New York opens. I have not got a clue. There's so many wicks and stuff, and the lower down the time frames you go, the harder it gets, dude. I'm like,
it is, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I stick to 15. Well, I obviously look at the previous day, so the day for the previous day candle. And then I go down to 15, and then when I'm looking for the fine tune on the fair value gap, I'll look at the 1 minute. But what I like about the US 30, you're not comparing, you know, you haven't got two factors involved. You haven't got, like, for your euro and USD, it's not whether the euro is doing well and the interest rates are going up or down, and what's Trump tweeting today, and you know, that's going up and down, and he's doing marketing manipulation, I'm sure. But anyway, you probably cut that out.
Of course he is, of course he is, mate.
Yeah. Oh, today I didn't like this.
And then he's got all his buddies shorting it. Yeah. It's just like, it's how it works, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know. I have no comment on that guy. I think he's crazy, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. So, you mentioned that your risk was really good compared to back to then, so that's good. You mentioned that you've got a nice little strategy worked out now. So, if you're gonna put some advice to your beginner self, like if you could sit back down with your beginner self on day one, what's one thing you'd say to yourself?
Again, it's just that you've got to leave your emotions outside. And be strict with yourself. Be prepared to lose your money, a percentage of money. Be prepared to be, you know, motivated, and I would say discipline.
Discipline. Love that. That's great. So, something to do differently, perhaps, from when you first started, apart from obviously throwing money in a broker.
I probably wouldn't. I probably would have gone down the prop firm route earlier.
Yeah.
If I could have done.
The first trader I had on here as a professional, he's one of my friends. He trades for a hedge fund in Germany, really good trader, and he said, the thing is with prop firms, he's like, I don't use them, but prop firms give you the rules to follow. And I was like, I never really thought of it that way, but I can imagine how erratic traders would be without rules, you know, to follow, and without sorry, you failed. Because you just be like, oh, well, that's fine, I'll just make it back the next day. And then you just wouldn't, your mind would not be structured as a professional trader. So, you know, there might come a time where you don't need them. Like myself, I don't use prop firms, but like for a year, 2 years, or you know, even 6 months. I know some people have done it in 6 months. I think prop firms are good just so it gauges you to how to be a professional and what a professional trader looks like. So I think that's good. Do you have any mindset tips for any beginners?
No, I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I'm still learning. I mean, you know, I don't know. I think if you've had an argument with your partner, don't trade.
I love that one. Yeah. I would say the same thing, man. I would say the same thing. I recently split up with my wife, and I just didn't trade for like 2 months. My hedge fund boss was just like, take some time off. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm not in the right mindset to be putting trades on. Trust me.
Of course, yeah. You're not. Yeah. You don't want to. If you've had a drink, don't trade. You know, just be fresh.
Yeah, a few pints down the pub. I remember on Friday afternoon once, I finished work early when I first started. It was in COVID, and I was doing delivery driving. And because I was the only jobs going back then. I think it was for Argos, and I think I finished work early, and I went down the pub on a Friday. I didn't work on a Friday. I went down the pub at like 2:30, and I had like 2 or 3 beers. I was like, let's have a little crack. Is it? This doesn't work out. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, because you just don't care. I was like, that's alright, you know. So something you wish earlier on. Anything else you think you could like wish upon yourself earlier on?
Oh, gosh, apart from knowing what the lottery numbers were for the Euro Millions, no, not really.
I love that. All right, let's finish with that then. So thank you, Alan, for coming on. It's been brilliant to have you on, mate. Got a great sense of humour. It looks like you're doing very well for yourself, and we're absolutely buzzing for you. $2,300 in the bank. Great, love that. Now just keep that going. And I honestly wish you all the best, mate. Sound like a pretty decent guy, so very humble. So, and yeah, like you're only 9 months in, so this is a great achievement, incredible to be honest. So, I mean, I was totally lost at 9 months, if I'm going to be honest. I was totally lost. So you've done really well. You're doing better than I was doing at that point. So you should be proud of yourself. So thanks for coming on again. So guys, that was Adam Marshall. And so if you find anything there that resonates with you, just drop a comment, like, subscribe, share, share it with one of your buddies, and yeah, don't forget to tune into the next episode of Traderscale Success Stories. Ciao for now.